Hello students, today will be discuss about rise of the novel in 18th century. There are two main classes of fictional prose narratives, namely the tale or romance and the novel. The tale or romance depends for its chief interest on incidents and adventures, whereas the novel depends more on the display of character and motive. In addition to story or plot, the novel tends to be more complicated than the tale. There is little doubt that she modern novel had its root in the medieval romances such as Sir Gawain and the Green Knight and those dealing with the legends of King Arthur. Another source of the knowledge was the collection of ballads. Dealing with the adventures of popular heroes of the type of Robin Hood, these romances were written in verse. The Elizabethans saw the rise of the prose romance. The novel had its humble birth in the 16th and 17th century and reached a great height in the age of Pope and Dr. Johnson. It was immediately after 1740 that the English novel came to embody, as no other literary form, the spirit and temper of the age. The novel, as realistic form of art, blossomed in the hands of the Four Wheels of the novel Richardson, Fielding, Stern, and Smollett. A number of reasons account for its unprecedented rise and popularity of the novel in the 18th century. First, the rise of the middle classes. The literature of the 17th century flourished under the patronage of the upper classes. The 18th century in English society history is characterized by the middle class because of immense growth in trade and commerce. The English merchant class was becoming increasingly wealthy, and this newly rich class was desirous of giving themselves an aristocratic touch by appearing to be learned and sophisticated like the nobility and the landed gentry. This class of readers had hitherto been neglected by the highbrow writers. Their tastes and aspirations were expressed by the novelists of the time. Next, a growth of newspaper and magazines. In the 18th century, the appearance of newspapers and magazines led to an immense increase in the number of readers. These new readers from the middle class society had no classic traditions to influence their taste. They cared little for the opinions. Dr. Johnson had the famous literary club, and so far they read fiction. They apparently took little interest in the exaggerated romance of impossible heroes and precarious stories of intrigue and villainy, which had interested the upper classes. Some new type of literature was demanded, and this new type of literature, which expressed the new ideals of the 18th century, was nothing but novel which dealt with the plain men and women and their thoughts, motives and struggles in actual life. Next, the rise of realism. The 18th century literature was characterized by the spirit of realism, and during this period is noticed the decline of romantic features such as enthusiasm, elemental passion, and imagination. Literature of the 18th century is imbued with the color of reason, intellect, correctness, decorum, and a satirical spirit. Both in poetry and fiction of the 18th century, the dominant note its realism. The novel was widely used as a powerful medium for the exploration and representation of social reality. In the words of David H. like the medieval fable, also a product of the urban imagination, the novel tended to realism and Opportunity in the sense that it dealt with people living in the social world known to the right. Next, the spread of the democratic ideas. The rise of the novel was also the result of the spread of democratic feelings in the 18th century. England, the Romance-like tragedy had been almost consistently aristocratic in the range of its interests and characters and even Defoe, while the repudiated romantic conventions in this age, as in all other respects, still held aloof from the ordinary special world, merely substituting adventures and criminals for princes and Arcadian shepherds. The comprehensiveness of the novel, its free treatment of the characters and doings of all sorts and conditions of men, and especially its sympathetic handling of middle classes and low life, are unmistakable evidences of its democratic quality. It was not by accident, therefore, that it appeared at a time when, during Sir Robert Walpole's firm rule, England was settling down after a long period of military excitement, and when, with the consequent growth of commerce and industry, the prestige of the old feudal nobility was on the wane, and the middle classes were increasing steadily in social and political power. Next, the rise of the periodical essay. During the 18th century, the seeds of the novel of character were shown in the periodical essay of addition and stealing. In the Spectator paper, not only we find the novel of character but also the origin of the social and democratic novel. If addition had been the Coverley papers, not only we find the novel of character but also the origin of the social and domestic novel. It, if addition had pinned the Coverley papers together with a stronger plot, if instead of only referring to the window who had stolen Sir Roger's affections, he had introduced a definite love theme, if he had introduced some full length female character, he would have produced the first regular novel in English as it is. This essay series brings us within measurable distance of the genuine 18th century novel. Since these papers were widely read, they cultivated the taste of the public for the future rise of the novel. Next, the role of circulating libraries. Most circulating libraries stocked all types of literature. What novels were widely regarded as their main attraction, and there can be little doubt that they led to most notable increase in the reading public for fiction which occurred during the 18th century. They certainly provoked greatest volume of contemporary comment about the spread of readers. These slop shops in literature were said to have debauched the mind of schoolboys, blue-boys, servant women of the better sort, and even of every butcher and baker, cobbler and tinker throughout the three kingdoms. It is likely, therefore, that until 1740 a sufficient marginal section of the reading public was back from full participation in the literature by the high price of books, and further that this marginal section was largely composed of potential readers, many of them women. Next, the role of women. In the 18th century, women of the upper and middle classes could partake in a few of the activities of their men folk. Whether of business and pleasures, it was not usual for them to engage in politics, business for the administration of their estates, while the main masculine leisure pursuits such as hunting and drinking were also varied. Such women therefore had a deal of leisure, and this leisure was often occupied by omnivorous reading. Lady Mary Wortley Montagu, for example, was an avid novel reader, asking her daughter to send a list of novels copied down from newspaper advertisements and adding. Last, the decline of drama. The steady rise of the novel was also due to the fact that there was a steep decline in the theatre during the late 10th century. The drama no longer made any pretense of holding the mirror up to nature. The drama, which has helped to satisfy the natural human desire for a story, was moribund. The something else had to take its place with the passing of the Licensing Act in 1737. Via the Whig ministry of Walpole, the novel seemed to be only major species of literature to meet with the taste of the public. The reading public was in demand of a new form to fulfill its desire for story and social pictures. This craving of the public was adequately met with the rise of the novel after 1740. Miss Thrale recounted that by her husband's orders she was not to think of the kitchen and explained that it was a result of this enforced leisure that she was driven on literature as sole resource. Okay, thank you for watching.